Okay, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about, I'm working with some older for fertility clients. It's like 38 plus who are trying to get pregnant sometimes after, several years of trying, going through IVF, IUI, ICSI. They come to me and they're kind of like, I don't know really what you could even do for me. I've done all the tests. I've gone through all the procedures. I've seen fertility specialists. Excuse me. But, and I say, well, I don't really know either. Let's talk about some things. And what I do is, what I want to first say is there's a lot of women out there who feel like they've gone through all these things. And I know that you can relate to this. And they feel a little hopeless at this point, and then they go on and they get pregnant naturally. And that's what I'm saying for you. I mean, this is your year. You're arming yourself with information. And this is a term that I really love. You're getting yourself fully resourced and prepared, meaning that you are, making the changes to your diet and your lifestyle, and you're like morphing yourself into this fertility mode, like as if you were already a mother. You're caring for these wonderful eggs and your partner's caring for his sperm. And, you're changing your outlook and maybe, getting rid of some friends or things like that are bringing you down or stressing you out. I mean, you're making all these changes, right? And so this is a different year. This is a different approach. You're taking a holistic approach, and you're taking care of your physical body. You're taking care of your spiritual body, your mental body. This is your year that you are, totally taking charge of your fertility. And so that's what I'm seeing with these women. They're coming in kind of like bleak, hopeless. And then we are, like really taking care of their whole body. And I start with the digestion because, we've talked about it more and more. That digestion is where the immune system originates. Two arms of the immune system are found in the gut. And even the emotional state of the person, they found that serotonin hormone is, produced in the gut. And pretty much like our whole health originates there. And the bacteria that's found in our gut is also colonized in our vagina. So really, we do what's called a gut repair series. And so this is totally radically different than what these women are expecting. They're so used to, getting these tests done. Oh, this is your AMH, this is your FSH, blah, blah. I mean, those tests are important in some regards, of course. Like FSH is really important as far as knowing the quality of the eggs. AMH is more important for IVF clinics. But they're like, wait, my doctor never told me about my gut health, and we never talked about my diet and things I'm possibly allergic to and eliminating those and maybe doing a food allergy test. But those are really, really important because, like I said in another video, reproductive health has so much to do with the health of the entire body and not just the narrow focus of the sex hormones and the sex organs. Though, of course, those are important, but a lot of times, it'll be confusing. Well, everything seems fine, but I can't get pregnant or I can't sustain a pregnancy. That's when you need to start looking at other systems. And this is something that I think is really frustrating is there's the functional medicine model that looks at optimal reference ranges that are quite different than the conventional medicine model. And let me give you the example of the thyroid. So a lot of times women will come in and they'll say, oh, I've had my thyroid tested. Okay, well, have you had your thyroid tested recently, like in the last few months? No, it's been a while, or yes. Okay, let me look at those ranges. Well, usually it's one marker that's tested, TSH, and conventional reference ranges say if it's between 0.5 and 4.5, you're fine. Where functional medicine that looks at, that reference range, that TSH needs to actually be between 1 and 2 to be optimized for fertility. That's quite a big difference. And so, that really makes a difference. Like, do we need to put you on a thyroid hormone, or do we need to deal with your iodine deficiency, or do we need to deal with food allergies that are creating a thyroid imbalance, or do we need to look at maybe heavy metals that are affecting your thyroid? Oh, my doctor never talked about any of that and said I was fine. Have you ever had your thyroid antibodies tested? No, I don't even know what that is. My thyroid was fine. Well, one, your thyroid wasn't fine. It's elevated for fertility. And second, thyroid antibodies precede thyroid disease. So actually, it's really, really important to always test for that. And there's several other markers. So I'm going to put the markers and what are the optimal levels. It makes a huge difference. It's largely ignored. And I interviewed Dr. Richard Shamus, who wrote the book Feeling Fat, Fuzzy, and Frazzled. And I said, why are women so largely ignored? Because women are, predominantly have these thyroid conditions. Why are women so largely ignored with thyroid conditions? Why don't endocrinologists focus more on this? Well, they're so inundated with the diabetes epidemic here in America. I mean, it is an epidemic. And they say, diabetes can kill you. Thyroid disease in and of itself can't kill you, though, quote unquote, a thyroid out of balance and you will wish you were dead. And I'm like, yeah, I've dealt with so many thyroid conditions where it ruins the quality of a woman's life and it makes it impossible to conceive. So in a sense, it's extremely detrimental. So, please work with someone who actually has a regard or just become resourced with knowledge. There's Stop the Thyroid Madness. There's Feeling Fat, Fuzzy, and Frazzled. There's Amy Meyer's books. I'll put them all in there below. Become educated, and then you might have to educate your doctor. And some doctors don't like that, but you'll find someone who wants to work with you. And I'll tell you about our fertility coaching program as well, because we definitely respect the client and work with you on that level. Second is vitamin D. I just had my vitamin D tested. The conventional reference ranges are 32 to 100. Optimal for fertility is, I think optimal for good health is 50 to 80. So, though my doctor was kind of like, yeah, you're low, you're like on the border. Okay, well, I know better. I need to I want to be in optimal health. All my fertility clients, I want them to be optimized and fully resourced to conceive and maintain a pregnancy, have a healthy pregnancy, a healthy baby. So you want to have it at optimal levels. And, so sometimes you take high dose, high IU vitamin D, first get tested, of course, and see where you're at. If you're low, then you might have to dose higher, 5,000, 10,000 IU for a period of time and get yourself optimized. And then second, on thyroid, there's so many different symptoms that come with thyroid: depression, hair loss, difficulty losing weight, difficulty maintaining temperature, difficulty getting pregnant. I'll list a lot of the symptoms below, but cold hands and feet. In Chinese medicine, you must keep the uterus warm, and an indication that you're having internal qi deficiency in the organs, in the digestive system, is cold hands and feet, because the vital energy of the internal body is deficient and it cannot go out to the external body. So, it's really, really important to keep the uterus warm. And I'll tell you a couple tips. If you're having cold hands and feet, it might be summer and you might not be having it. But in the winter months, if you're like one of those people that just always has cold hands and feet, it's crucial to keep them warm. So whatever you need to do, wearing gloves, don't expose, extra socks, lots of cinnamon tea, a lot of ginger tea, a lot of warm baths, staying away from cold foods. In the winter months, you're thinking more stews. In the summer, you can eat room temperature salads. But here in America, we just are addicted to super cold things. If you're not eating drinking a big Slurpee, because you're like, well, that's disgusting and that's full of whatever. But you're drinking big smoothie things or drinks full of iced teas, big Jamba juice smoothies, things like that. I would stay away from that and really stay with the room temperature. You need to keep the internal temperature, the internal fire warm. It's really crucial for fertility. and crucial for digestive health as well. I know that's hard for some of you. Like we're really addicted to ice, and I know traveling to other countries, you're like, where's my icy cold drink? Most countries don't do the big ice thing, and we do here. So I would stay away from that. And then talking about, just real quickly, resourced on nutrients. Like iodine deficiency is a big issue. So getting yourself kelp drops to start optimizing your iodine levels. I'll do a list. That's not the only thing that has iodine. I'll list some foods below that have iodine. Optimizing your vitamin D, working on thyroid health, taking a really good prenatal, and then optimizing your essential fatty acids, or your omega-3, DHEA, EPA. Those are crucial. Your body cannot produce those on your own, and they are important for fertility. And then I'll leave you with a story. A man was saying that his wife, he wrote a blog saying like his wife, every time, and I hear these stories too, they're heartbreaking. I've had 8 miscarriages. I just met with a woman the other day. She had 8 miscarriages. Okay, so miscarriage, and I'm not saying like, oh, this is the reason for every miscarriage. There's multiple reasons for miscarriages. But in her case, her vitamin D was not optimized. And once they optimize it, she got pregnant. She was able to maintain the pregnancy. Another was, low iodine levels. Once they started optimizing iodine, we're able to. Another was MTHFR. Once they were able to get tested for MTHFR, found out that that they had this mutation, were able to change lifestyle to adapt to this diagnosis. We're able to get pregnant and maintain a pregnancy. So this is your year. This is your year. You're going to be fully resourced, and we'll work on it more and more. Also, really the mental, the spiritual, I think is so important. So we'll talk about that as well. And then put down below, I want to do like a special kind of giveaway. So tell me something you'd be interested in, like that I could give away, like an Ava bracelet, OvuSense detector, a private testing for thyroid vitamin D, thyroid antibodies test. I know those are, or I don't know, give me some suggestions.